Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. A while back, Trendy Tree sent me some mesh and some ribbon, and let me tell you, the pineapple ribbon was speaking to me. So we are going to make a pineapple inspired wreath, and we're going to use 3 different colors of mesh and 2 different ribbons, and this high sign that came from Trendy Tree with a Dollar Tree wreath form. Now, Trendy Tree is offering a kit with the mesh and the ribbon, and the link is in the description box below if you want to get yours. So let's get started. Hey there, welcome back, and I want to show you what we're going to work with today. I'm so excited. Trendy Tree sent me this mesh and this ribbon a while back, and I was excited to use it because the pineapple ribbon really spoke to me, and I thought I've got to make a wreath with this. So let me get started in saying that if you want these particular meshes, this is a daffodil yellow, and then this is a check fabric mesh in the white, and then this is like a turquoise with like a little mint green in it. Now, what Trendy Tree has done, she's put together kind of like a kit together, and I'm going to be able to have a link down below, and you're going to be able to get these ribbons with these 3 meshes, okay? It's not going to include your sign because you need to decide which sign you want, so you can buy the sign separately, or maybe you already have a sign that you can use. And it's not going to include the Dollar Tree wreath form, okay? But if you want to have the same mesh and the same ribbon, there is a link down below to get this. Supplies are probably going to be limited, so if you want this, click on that link below. All right, so I'm going to also use a Dollar Tree wreath form. I also have a Dollar Tree link down below. You can buy these by the case, and I know some people will think, well, that's a lot of wreaths to buy. Well, if you bought a case of these and you couldn't use them all, you could always sell them on Facebook, guys, like in a D-Stash group. I'll leave a link for a D-Stash group that I recommend called Dean Michael Designs D-Stash. And then I also am going to use, I like this high sign, that's just my style, but they also had this really cute pineapple. If you wanted to keep really the pineapple theme in this wreath, you could use this as well. So these both came from Trendy Tree as well. So if you want the mesh and the ribbon, there's a kit on Trendy Tree right now, and you can go get it. So let's get started. Okay, so let's talk about how we're going to cut this mesh. We're going to use a rotary cutter on top of my cutting mat. As you can tell, I use this thing all the time in all my videos. It's just a really good surface to work from, and you can cut on it. All of my tools and everything are in my Amazon shop, and I know that you know that. If you've been watching me at all, I appreciate it when you purchase from Amazon. I do get an affiliate income there, and it does help my family. I get a little small portion. But anyways, we're going to cut this mesh, and we're going to cut them in different lengths, okay? We're going to do a method called the Cruffle method. And my friend Amber from This Southern Girl Can put out a video well over 2 years ago using this method. And in her video, she used the 5.5 inch mesh. So if you have a lot of that mesh, you could also do this with that as well. So I'm going to leave her link for that video down below. Make sure you check it out and tell her Julie's Wreath Boutique sent you. So what are we going to do with the white? So I'm going to cut all of the white roll here in 20-inch lengths. And basically that should give me 18 cuts on this roll of mesh at 20 inches long a piece. Now, if it doesn't have to be exactly 20 inches. If it's close, that's all that matters, okay? That it's close. Now, I think I need a new blade for my cutter. It's a little dull. So we're going to cut all of that at 20 inch. Then I'm going to take this yellow. This is the daffodil yellow. And if you watched a Facebook Live that I did, I think in January, I showed you this yellow and white check. And if you ordered that yellow and white check, you could use this in place of this yellow, okay? So I know that a lot of you ordered it because Trendy Tree no longer has it in stock now. So that's kind of another substitute if you already have it, okay? Now I'm going to cut this in 14 inches. And so since I'm going to cut this in 14 inches, I'm just going to layer it on top here, and we're going to cut 14 inches long here length. So I need about 18 of these, I believe. And so I'm going to cut these, and then I'm going to cut all of my white, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to put this together. So before we even get our wreath put on our frame, we're going to take a moment and we're going to take our ribbon and make our little bundles that we're going to add just to make this more efficient and easier when you make it. This needs to be a wreath that's easy for anyone to try. And I don't want a bunch of not zip ties. I don't want a bunch of pipe cleaners that I have to trim and tuck under. So I'm going to use zip ties mostly on this wreath. So that's a little different than maybe you've seen in the past. And I know some people like to use the work forms. And if that's what you have, you can totally use that. So let's talk about how we're going to cut our little ribbon bundles. Now, I'm of the opinion that I want to see the mesh in this wreath. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to make 6 of these little bundles to put throughout the wreath, okay? I'm not going to cover it. If you want more of the pineapple ribbon, add it. Do whatever you would like to do, but I also want to make sure that I have plenty of this ribbon left over to make a nice bow at the end. So my plan is to do this, that we're going to start with the frame or the thinking of 10 inches. So let's just cut using our rotary cutter mat and the measurements at 10 inches, okay? So what I want is I want an angle, so I'm going to cut an angle there, and then I'm going to start and cut an angle here, okay? So that's about 10 inches long. I probably need to cut that better. Let's do that a little bit better here. Okay. So then what do I want to do with my little yellow and stripe ribbon? Well, I want these cuts to go 2 different ways. So if I start it, I'm going to just kind of restart this again to kind of show you what I mean. So this was about 10 inches long. So I want this one to be about 8 inches. So I'm going to cut it at 8 inches. Okay. So if that one we need one of these yellow and white ones to have the same angles. So I'm going to cut just a little bit of an angle off of both sides. Okay, so you've got that, but then I want another 8 inch and I want the angles to go the opposite way. So I'm going to cut again 8 inches here, and then I'm going to cut it this way. All right. So that when I layer these, I'm going to kind of crisscross them like so, and then I'm going to just kind of gather them so that when the ribbon comes up, it kind of makes a nice little X here. And I'm just going to take a 3 inch or 4 inch zip tie here, and I'm going to bundle them together like so. And when I take my mesh and I show you the next step, these are all ready to go. These are ready to be placed in your wreath, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 6 of these. Now, I think all we're going to use is 6. I might change my mind. I might use more, but this is where we're going to start. So we're going to make 6 of these little bundles, and just pay attention where you're cutting that angle so that it makes that nice, you know, kind of, it matches on this side. And I don't know, I just like the look of it. So I'm going to make 6 of these, and then we're going to start putting this wreath. So we have all of our little ribbon bundles. I don't know what else you're going to call them. That's what I'm going to call them. But we're going to focus on 2 wires in this frame, okay? We're going to work on wire 2 and wire 3. Now, this is the way I explain all wreaths: wire 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to work on the middle 2 wreath forms. So what are we going to do? How are we going to do this cruffle technique? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my white, and this made 18 cuts of about 20 inches, about anywhere from 19 to 20. I wasn't that specific, but I didn't go over the 20 mark. So if you do that, you're going to have enough to have 18 cuts. And so basically in this wreath, we're going to put at least 3 bundles with this white on it throughout the wreath. And then we're going to add some color to it as well. So how do we do the cruffle method? All right, I'm going to get, I like to call these my chip clips, okay? If you've been around a while, you know that I get these at Dollar Tree in the, you know, laundry section. And I know it's a clothespin or something like that, but I call it my Dollar Tree chip clips because you can get a pack of like 5 of them. Have some of these handy, okay? Because I like the big circular round part here because it holds your mesh really well. So how are we going to start this? Well, we're going to start by, we're going to roll inward about once and twice, okay? So we're going to have a nice roll there, and then we're going to hold it out and we're going to roll it up here, and then that way none of the exposed mesh, I'm going to get rid of this little piece that's hanging out is going to be exposed. So then we're just going to gather it like you would do a ruffle wreath. And so that's kind of like a part curl and part ruffle, okay? So make sure you go watch my girl Amber from the Southern Girl Can, and you can see how she did it with a smaller size mesh. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to take my clip, I'm going to put it right there, and then I'm going to take the yellow. I've got mesh all around me. It's so funny. I'm going to take this, and this was cut at 14 inches. We don't need the color to be as big as the base of your wreath, and the white is our base, okay? So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to roll it in a couple times so that edge can't be exposed, and then I'm just going to ruffle it in, okay? So that's what we're going to do. So now I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to put it over top of the white, okay? So that way we're not adding two different steps. We're doing it all in one step. So what I'm going to do is we are going to focus on this second bar first and then the third. So you're going to put one here, and one here, okay? So the one that we put here is where we're going to add our little ribbon bundle. So I'm going to just take a zip tie. I'm going to go through that bar 2. Okay. All right. And I'm just going to place my little cruffle right over top of it. And I'm going to attach it. Okay. Take my wire cutters, cut them. All right. And there is our first cruffle. So the next one we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the white, and then we're going to do the yellow, and then we're going to add one of these, okay? So let's do that one now. So let's do our roll on each side here. And then I'm just going to do the ruffle, take my chip clip, grab another yellow, do it, and, oops, need to roll this side, Julie, and put it over top. All right, so I'm going to hold this. So now I'm going to take, and these are just going to kind of come up like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my little ribbons and I laid that on top. I'm going to put my zip tie on now, bar 3, and I'm going to attach it. If you want to use pipe cleaners, go right ahead. It's really up to you, okay? It's whatever your preference is. I'm going to cut this one. Oops, just made that go flying, and I'm going to move it over, all right? So at the end here, we will, work on our ribbons and have them show a little bit more. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put another white and a yellow one right here. So let me do that really quick. All right, so now we're going to put this one on that bar 2, okay? And that will be our set of 3 of these bundles for this section. Now, you can use any color. If you like the lemon ribbons that are out, use the lemon. If you like the strawberries, use a strawberry themed. Whatever you want to do is what you should do, okay? But here we go. I'm looking at it and I feel like it needs just a little. It's not as full as it could be. So what am I going to do? That's where your third color of mesh comes in. So I'm going to take this. This is the 14 inch. Remember, I cut the yellow and this kind of, I don't know, would you call this a turquoise or like a teal? I'm not really sure, or an aqua color. And you're just going to make a little bundle here and find a spot to put it in between. So I'm going to put it in between this one, and I'll just use that bar 3 here. And I'm just going to attach it. I know, I'm being really technical here. I'm just going to add it. There's no rhyme or reason. I just want to add a little bit of color, and this will just help make it a little fuller for our wreath. And then I'm going to move the center one over, the center white and yellow over, and I'm going to put one right here. Can you see that? I'm going to put one right here. So the other one I put up here, and then I'm going to stagger it and put one right here. And the reason why I like doing with the zip ties is once I cut these zip ties, I gotta turn this one over. It's not facing the right way. The reason why I like the zip ties is I'm done. Once I cut that zip tie, I don't have to add anything. I don't have to clip anything else. I don't have to tuck anything underneath. I just find it really, really easy. Okay, so here we go. And when we get this done, we might want to add a little bit more ribbon, and that's okay. All right, but you have to remember we're going to put a bow on this and a sign on it, so it'll be pretty full of color and all of that. So I'm going to just do the same thing that I just did here. We're going to do it on each section of this wreath, and then I'll come back and we'll start on the sign and the bow. Okay, you know how I do. I'll be like, oh, I'm going to finish the rest of the wreath, and I'll come back. Oh, here, time out. Let's show you what Julie did. We're having a timeout, okay? Before I finish this up, I'm having a timeout, and you guys totally understand. You get me. So when we finished the last white and yellow section, we ended on that second bar. So this is what I'm going to do. Because we ended on that second bar, and I've got mesh trying to impede this shot here. Because we ended this one on that second bar, I'm going to go ahead and hop up and start the first section of this section on bar 3. Okay, so basically what we'll do is we'll do bar 3. Gotta have that zip tie facing the right way, Julie. And so basically we're going to do bar 3 here, and then the bundle with the ribbon is going to be now on bar 2, and then I'm going to do another bundle up here, and then I'm going to add my little kind of aqua colors in between those as well. And so then when I get to this section, we'll start back at here. So wherever this one, the last one, is left off, you're going to just do the opposite bar. So I hope that makes sense. I wanted to be clear, but I also wanted to show you. So I'll be right back, I promise. Okay, so we have the base of our wreath made. So now how are we going to attach the sign to our wreath? Now, I have this little Fiskars stapler, and I would try this if I had the staples. I don't understand why there was no staples when I bought this, but hey, there wasn't. And then I ordered them, and then I don't know whatever happened to that order. So of course, I went ahead and ordered these staples so that I'd have it the next time. So next time I'll be able to use this, but I think these would be small enough that you could have just stapled the wire into this wood or MDF frame. I'm not sure what it's made of, but I think it would have worked. So since I don't have the staplers, what am I going to do? I'm going to take my glue gun here, and I'm going to take two pieces of wire, and then I cut 2 pieces of very small felt to find out where we could put this. So I picked the wire because I wanted it longer than, you know, a pipe cleaner would be. So I'm going to put one right here. So what we're going to do, I think this is for that one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay a little bit of glue where it's at. Okay, kind of getting it set is what I'm trying to do here. And then I'm going to put the glue on the felt to go over top of it. So you got to be very careful. All right, so that needs to now dry and set up. This is the Gorilla Glue so that it will work in the heat. And you could, if you wanted to show, you could just use pipe cleaners, and you could have wrapped the pipe cleaner around one part of the sign and then on the other side, and it'd be fine too if you don't want to use this method. It's really up to you. So I'm going to put that one there, and then I'm going to put one a little bit higher up here. So again, I'm just going to bend my wire in half and add some glue here, so it can set up, and then I'm going to put glue on this. And then I'm just going to let this dry, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so what are we going to do for a bow? We're going to use the pineapple ribbon, and we're going to use this yellow and white ribbon, and I think it's just really pretty. Now, before we go any further, I would tell you, again, I would have cut these ribbons a little bit longer. Now, in the beginning of this tutorial, I told you to cut these about 10 inches. on the pineapple ribbon, I would cut them 12, and then I would cut the white and the yellow at 10. So I would give these a little bit more depth if I had cut them a little bit longer. But again, you got to live and learn. You got to experiment, and that's what I did. So before we get to the bow, I have a link in the description box below. If you'd like to join my email list, I would love to have you join it. Click that link, get all the updates about Julie's Wreath Boutique and a YouTube, or maybe when a new product comes out. So I would love to have you on that list. So click on that link. So let's get started on the bow. Now, this bow was inspired by a friend of mine on Instagram, and her name is CaseyLee.co. And she has the best grapevine wreaths out there. The floral designs that she does is amazing. So I'm going to leave you her link for Instagram below. Go follow her on Instagram. I'm telling you, you will love her work. And she does IGTV stuff. And she had made this bow in one of her IGTVs last year. And I thought, I'm going to do the same one that she did and kind of give a little bit of a different twist on a bow for a wreath. So basically, this is her bow, and we're going to give you her link in the description box below. So go give her a follow, okay? And make sure you're following me on IG too, or Instagram, not IG, Instagram. Okay, enough. Let's get on with it, Julie. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to take 12 inches, okay? I like to use my mat here. I'm going to pull this over, and I just like to measure what 12 inches is. So I'm going to bend this over, and what she does is when she starts her bows is she just puts a dot of glue, and that kind of holds the base there together. So I thought, you know what, that's a good idea. Why not start with a dot of glue? So what we're going to do is add another 12 inches, and that'll give us like a 6-inch loop here. So I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to, we're going to gather it, and I'm going to hold it with my fingers here. Now I'm going to twist it when we get to that part so that we have the right angle, okay, of the ribbon. So another 12 inches. All right, so when you get there, I'm just going to twist it again, because you always want that print up. You want it showing up so that when you do put your wreath together, your bow together, I should say, you've got the right print showing, okay? So again, I'm going to twist it. Going to measure another 12. And this is more of a whimsical bow is what we're doing here, okay? That's really what this is. And I really like this ribbon. It's so nice. And it's just good quality ribbon. And that's what's nice about the ribbon that you get from places like Trendy Tree. You're going to get good quality stuff. So I'm thinking, I don't know, I think 3 and 3 would be good. I think that's going to be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit here, and we're going to make a big loop, and I'm going to just kind of hold it there, and then I'm going to cut that ribbon. It's got a little twirly on me there. All right. So I'm going to just take a piece of wire. You could take wire, you could take a pipe cleaner, whatever you want to do. I'm going to go over the top of it right here. But you know what? Before I do that, let me do this. If this makes it easier for you to put the wire on, take a zip tie and just zip tie that all together. If you want to learn how to make some great bows, I have a bow video, and I'll leave that in the description link below, okay? But using a zip tie here just makes it a little bit easier for your hands, and if you're trying to hold on to it all, that's what we're trying to do, okay? So basically now what I want to do is I want to take this wire. I'm just going to go over top there, and I'm going to twist it. And we're going to use this wire to go through the wreath, okay? And then you can even go ahead and cut your tails here. All right, well, we'll make those nicer here in a moment. So what I'm going to do, this is the first part of our bow, and I'm going to kind of go through here, and I'm going to kind of put it in between two of my ribbon accents here so that we're not covering it all. So I'm just going to find a spot. I'm going to go through the wreath here, and that's why I kind of like the wire, just because it's a little easier to go through all that mesh and you're not guessing. Okay, so we're just gonna pull it through. All right, now I am not gonna pull this all the way through, guys. You don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, okay, and then you lose your bow. I'm going to set it on top there, and I'm going to gently twist it, and that's where it's going to sit. We don't need to yank this down. I'm just twisting the wires underneath like so. All right, I'm going to twist. All right, I'm going to leave those wires there for now. Okay, and I'm just going to leave this the way it is right now. Okay, and now we're going to make the accent part of this bow. Let's bring these down. Okay, and we'll work on that more in a moment. Okay, so now let's work on the accent part, which is the yellow and white. All right, again, we're going to do the same technique. You're going to do the same thing here, but with this, and we're going to do it the same length. I'm going to keep all these loops really big, okay? So again, you're going to do the same thing here with this. So I will walk you through it. You can skip ahead if you want, but I'm going to measure 12 inches. I'm going to glue it right here just to kind of give us a little starting point. And measure another 12 inches. Come back, and I'm going to now gather that, okay? And now, ooh, that's a little warm. A little warm. Okay, so now we're going to twist it, make sure that the right end is up, and you're just going to keep doing the same thing. Twist. Right. All right, I have 3. I'm thinking we need a little bit more. Let's look. I'm gonna look. Yeah, I think we're gonna do a little bit more. But at this point, I don't know. Let's do 1 more on each side here. So we'll have 4 loops in all on each side. All right, we're going to make a loop down here. Just going to cut it. And on this one, I'm going to just take a white pipe cleaner, and I have them here. Where they go? Okay, there they are. Okay, so I'm going to keep it with a white, not a wipe, pipe cleaner. I'm going to twist it around, and then I'm just going to twist and twist. Okay, I'm going to cut this. Again, we're going to make that. Now, this is going this way. I want this to kind of go a little bit in the opposite direction. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this and I'm going to go around the center section. I'm not even going to go all the way down into the wreath form. I'm just going to wrap it around this. All right, and then I'm going to twist. I'll show you in a moment here. Okay, so what I did is I just wrapped it around where the bottom of our bow is. All right, so basically what I want to do is I want this really whimsical. I don't want this, oh, you know, just so. I want it just a little different, and I want the pineapple ribbon to kind of pop, and then all of that. So you're just gonna work with it, guys. You're just going to work with it. Going to, let's see here. Still need to cut the ribbons, the edges. So that is what it's going to look like when I stand up and like do it. And then you're going to just take your ribbons and you're going to either dovetail them or you're going to cut them at an angle. Since I did the other ones at an angle, I think I'm going to do these at an angle. So I think I'm going to do this. And then I always, you know, when I go outside to like take a picture of this, I might change, you know, I might shorten these and I'll work with it around, you know, just to kind of get the look I want. But that is your bow. It's just very whimsical, very pretty. If you wanted to do the yellow and white a little bit shorter, you could definitely do that. But this is just kind of like a bunch of loops, and I just think it's really pretty. If you had like a little pineapple, you could put that in the middle. But I think that's really pretty. So let's get the sign and put the sign on. Okay, so I really like the way the bow is turning out. It's just a little different. And so now we have our sign. Now, but before we put this sign on, I want to kind of show you what it would look like if you added the pineapple sign. If you want to keep the pineapples kind of the theme, I would just cut the wire off here, and then this is foam, so I would just do what I did on the other one, and I would just probably put it kind of like a little bit down on the wreath. So not like halfway, but a little bit down. Like on the, you know, if this was the 30, the bottom of the hour, maybe right here. Okay. So that's a thought if you want to use that one. Okay. But I'm going to use the high sign. I like the high sign. I just think it's really cute. So you're just going to find where you want to put this. And I'm going to kind of try to put it at a little bit of an angle here. And just go all the way down. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, make sure you do that and hit the notification bell so that you'll get notified every time I post a video. I do try to do it every Sunday night, and I've been trying to add them on Wednesday nights too. So let me know in the comments, what do you want to see on YouTube here? Do you want to see more wreaths? Do you want to see some craft items? What do you want to see? So you're just going to take that part, and I'm not going to sink it down into the wreath, but I'm just twisting it on the back here. I'm going to show you here in a moment. Okay, so I twisted that one, and then I'm going to find a spot for this one to go through. Let's put it through right here. And you want to make sure that the wire goes down on one side of a wire rim and then on the other side of the wire rim, so that it has something to grab onto. All right. And then I'm just going to twist it a little bit. I want to make sure this ribbon shows. All right. And then I am going to twist. And remember, don't pull down too harsh on your ribbon or your wreath here. So I'm going to just flip it over. And so as you can see here, I've got it here, here, and here. I have wire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim those. And then I'm just going to poke them back into the wreath so that nothing can hurt a door, okay? So I'm not putting this down on my mat because I don't want to ruin my little bow there. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm just going to push it down, okay? All right, so I'm not going to put on anything on the back of this wreath. It doesn't need it. Because we use the zip ties, it keeps it nice and tidy on the back of the wreath. So there's really no reason to put a backing on this unless you just want to. And there's a little hole there, so we don't want to cover that up. But I think this turned out really cute. I love the pineapple. I think it's super cute. Remember, Trendy Tree has a box of these meshes together so that you can purchase the mesh and the ribbon. It doesn't include the sign or the wreath frame. But maybe you have a sign you already know that you'd like to put on this. But I think this really speaks summer. So if you followed me this far, let's see, is there a pineapple in the emojis? Can you leave me a pineapple? Or maybe a fruit, since this is a pineapple wreath? And then make sure you follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, here on YouTube. Join my Wreath Creators More group. Get on my email list. The links are down below. All the links to where I shop are down below. So supply list is in the description box below as well. But I hope you enjoyed this simple wreath. Anybody can make this. And until next time, we'll see ya. Bye-bye.